exciting to see the transformation taking place for me to watch and to witness. And for many of you who are in the middle of it right now, you might feel like this transformation is really overwhelming. When is it going to stop? It's so painful, all these feelings. However, I want to invite you to step back and look at how much you have changed from where you were to where you are now, and really acknowledge what's taken place and how much your life has transformed and how much you have transformed in that process. And as you know, sometimes what seems and feels like a really negative situation, losing your house, losing your money, losing a loved one, losing your job, losing loss in general, grief and the loss around that, is actually often a beautiful gift wrapped with a bow that's being presented to you, because you're now ready for the next phase of your evolution, right? If we were to stay stuck in the way that we were forever, we would not be achieving any progress. We would not be advancing. Now, that advancement happens on an individual level where every single one of us evolves individually, and it's happening on a collective level, right? Because in every opportunity to change, to transform, you're not just working on yourself and your own transformation, but you're also collectively affecting the transformation that's happening for humanity, right? And this is what I want to talk to you about today, is to realize that it's not just you, right? To realize that although we know, right, we can see this virus, for example, has a massive impact on the world, but yet when you perceive it, you just feel alone. You feel like it's all about you, right? You feel like it's your feelings that are locked in, where you're not able to understand what's actually taking place. And therefore you can't control it, right? And if you don't have a sense of control for the situation, what does that bring up in you, right? If you don't feel grounded and controlling of what's taking place, what does that bring up for you? Yeah. So that is really important to notice, and also to step outside of that, right? So there's an invitation here to join in community, because I think what we all have realized is that one person can't do anything alone. And I think the major shift that's taken place, in my opinion, is that we are collective. We are collective consciousness. We are collective, unified community. That unification is what we need to strengthen, right? With all of the modern advances that have taken place, cell phones, cars, right? Working from home, digital life. What's happened is that we don't have that community physical connection anymore. We don't have the ability to pop into somebody's house, call somebody up and just have a chat. It's now impolite to give somebody a call. You have to text and make sure that it's okay, right? Oftentimes even texting is invasive, right? So where are we with all of that? Where is our human to human connection? Now, the gifts that I have received in the process of my transformation, the last several months to a couple of years, is that I have received people opening their hearts up to me during times where my life was very challenging and difficult. And it was such a blessing for me to be in the position where usually I'm the one who wants to help others, where I'm the one who wants to be the one who's giving, to be the one to receive, to be humble enough to say, I need help. Would you be willing to help me? And then to accept with gratitude what someone has to offer, right? That is a gift in and of itself, to be able to receive. Now, every one of you who considers yourself a giver should also consider yourself a receiver, and ask yourself, am I able to receive? I'm going to bring up something for you to think about. Receiving is in the heart chakra, right? It's in the center of your chest, in the heart chakra. Just like giving is also in the heart chakra, right? Now, if you're able to give, you're essentially expending energy. How do you resource yourself once you have expended that energy from the heart chakra? You have to be able to receive. Yes, reception, coming back, being able to receive gifts is actually also from the heart chakra, but from the back of your heart chakra. So literally being able to receive a loving hand on your back of your heart chakra is the energy of receiving. And through that, you build up your resources to give. You understand? So that is the cycle, the circle of life and the cycle of life. Now, we're coming out of a major economic crisis. We hope that we don't go into another lockdown. And we have a virus that is mutating to deal with. While many of us are vaccinated, still the rates of some of the strains have been increasing and affecting people globally. So that story is not over, right? The story of climate change, the fires that are taking place, the temperature changes, the changes to our environment, that story is also not over. But the story that needs to begin, and I've seen has started to begin, and I invite you to open to more, is the story of our community, right? Because I think what we all really value now, and I hope we all really value, is one another, is our connection, right? Our true, honest self and our human connection. Because we can all go through difficult times. We can all go through periods where we need one another. Now, there are some people who believe that they're totally fine, independent, and don't need anyone else. And I commend you for that. But remember that all of these perceptions come from a place of deep hurt and trauma that has taken place at some point in your life that has led you to feel and believe the way that you are. And should you work on that part of you, your mind might actually change. And you might open to this collective, to this group sharing, this love, right? So I invite you to look around, literally open your eyes, take off your mask, and look around at the people in your life, either at your work, in your community where you live, right? Friends, people on the street, people you don't know, people that you connect with through whatever random occurrence. And think about what you have to offer them that they might need, and what they have to offer you that you might need. Because nothing really happens by accident. And there is a story here that is waiting to be played in each of our lives. We are a collective. So if we all wake up to the consciousness that we are truly connected, then there's no question that you will do everything you can to open your heart and give. Whether that's giving your time, whether that's giving your knowledge, whether that's giving your expertise, your wisdom, if it's giving your money, if it's giving your love, right? Give. And in the process, as I started saying, receive. Because notice that for everything that you have to give, there is also something in you that needs to be received. So what are those things, right? This is where we get into inner child work and self-love, identifying in yourself what it is that you are missing. What are you missing in your life? What do you feel that you need more of that's missing? That is the self-love that you actually need to receive, possibly from yourself, or be able to ask from others. Now, I've heard so many people say things like, oh, that's selfish. Or I couldn't possibly do that because that's just all about me and it's just thinking about me. And I need to think about others, right? I want to really invite you to connect with where that programming is coming from. Whose words are those? Are those really your words? Where did they start? When did you first start to believe that? Because a newborn baby, a child when they're growing up, doesn't believe that anything that they're doing is selfish. In fact, everything they do is selfish because it's part of their natural innocence, their process of growth. And somewhere along the way, as we grow up, we start to believe that we no longer deserve to take care of ourselves, that we no longer deserve to give and nourish ourselves, right? But it's the exact opposite of what's needed. Now, that's not to say that we border greed, right? Or gluttony. You need to learn when enough is enough. And the only way you'll learn when enough is enough is when you allow yourself to have enough, right? To really get to feel in your body what it feels like to have enough. To look around you and see that you have enough. You have a home, you have a car, you have food on the table, you have a family, you have kids. If these things are important to you, then that's enough, right? If you have enough, then what can you do to help the next person have enough? Because not all of us have the ability to look within ourselves and say, what do I need? And do I have enough?